So I was wondering what it really means to be an American. You know, not like the image that we have of what it means to be an American based on the media. But let's just think about it for ourselves for a second here. So we escaped from Europe, you know, like a couple 100 years or so, 150 years before the world basically ended. The Western world ended. With, you know, the world wars, World War I and World War II, they both started in Europe because European man has just so much history of civilization behind him that he collapsed. He committed suicide. And, you know, but the Americans, we've escaped from that. We escaped when we declared independence and when we just started shipping over here to be free, free to express our crazy religions and our desire to expand and understand nature and become rational and conscious, more aware, and now, well, we've definitely become somewhat decadent, but we're still this bedrock of creativity because we have all of these cultures intermixing with us here. You know, we've got the Eastern traditions and we've got all of the Western traditions and we've got our own kind of pragmatism. William James and John Dewey are amazing philosophers that I really need to read a lot more of because they're somehow uniquely American, and Richard Rorty too. They're somehow uniquely American and very important, I think, for coming to terms with who we are right now. We are the children that escaped the parents' suicide. We ran away from Europe before they could kill us. But now what are we supposed to do? The world ended, and here we are thinking it's still going on, trying to save the world as if it wasn't already dead. The world is over. You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that the idea of civilization, the idea of a military-industrial complex somehow being good for people? What the fuck is government for? Is it for the people? Or is it for war and policing the world to make it conform to this abstract idea called globalized capitalism? What are we really doing? The American government is what's doing it. The American people are either suppressed or they just don't give a fuck about what we do around the world because they live their American lives and they have basically a bubble around them. They haven't been given the opportunity to develop a more planetary consciousness. But it's happening. We're all waking up because it's time. The world ended in Europe, but time is going to end in America. And what is time? It takes me 3 hours to drive home. Okay, so time is a distance through space. So where is it then? Is it the space itself? Where does time happen? It happens here. Now, right? So what is now? Well, Aristotle thought about this. And, well, okay, first he said, well, wait, there's a past. I can know that. And there's a future. So now must be the borders of the past and the future. And it's sort of this in-between state that's not really real because there's never a moment between the past and the future. It's always that separation right there moving through us and everything. You know, past, future, one moment to the next. disappears. Aristotle said, that's not of my concern. You know, he didn't want to pay attention to the interior state. He was more focused on mapping the world. So time for him was sort of repressed. The nowness of time, the intensity of time. It's invisible, and yet it's so powerful. More powerful than gravity, surely. As far as we know, there's no way to slow down the passage of time other than traveling faster. Which, as weird as that sounds, makes sense. You never experience time as a quantity of something unless you move, unless there's movement through space. Without that type of change, no time passes. Which really makes time indistinguishable from creativity and the organization of matter and life and mind and intelligence and spirit in the cosmos. Time is that vibrational energy, changing always, echoing off itself and creating these higher level wave patterns, because it's all just vibrating waves at different frequencies interacting with other vibrating waves, like a spectrum of colors that just got broken apart somehow. But still, I mean, light is always right there. Whether it's blue or green or whatever color it is, it came from the same original whiteness or clearness, transparency.